We're going to have a quick recap on how to simplify radicals. Moving forward, we're looking at the square root property and quadratic formula. Both involve radicals. So remember, when you're dealing with radicals, I want to get them in simplest form. So we break it down. We got to find factors of our numbers. So in this case, 12 for our first one, that are perfect squares. So 12 breaks into 4 times 3. We would break this technically into two different radicals. Square root of 4 times the square root of 3. The square root of 4 is just 2. Square root of 3 stays put. There's our radical in simplest form. Same idea with the square root of 27. The biggest factor of 27 that's a perfect square is 9. We do 9 and 3. Square root of 9 is 3. Radical 3 we can't do anything with, so we just leave it. A couple more quick examples here. Watch the value of 80. 80 has a couple factors that are perfect squares. You want to find the largest one that's a perfect square. What it happens to be is 16. It's 16 times 5. I'm going to go ahead and jump to just splitting up the radicals right away. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 5 is 5. It stays put. And there's our solution, or there's our simplified version. Same deal here with 125. We would split it up. Square root of 25 times the square root of 5. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 5 stays 5. So we have that. We have positive numbers there. Those are irrational. Now, recall something else from last year. We have complex numbers. Those are in play. We're going to see those coming up from time to time. Square root of negative 1 is I. Hopefully we recall that. Now, square root of negative 36. I would personally split this up. 36 is already a perfect square. So I split it up, square root of 36 times the square root of negative 1. Square root of 36 is just 6. Square root of negative 1, we just saw in the last example, is I. So the square root of negative 36 is 6I. I don't need to see it broken up. You do what you need to do. Last example here with radicals, square root of negative 200. Not a perfect square. Does have a factor that is. Happens to be 100. So I'm going to go ahead and make that perfect square negative. Then it's multiplied by square root of 2. So I have square root of negative 100, square root of 2. I'm hoping we can just make the perfect squares negative and make sure we take the square root and just add an I with it. Square root of 100 is 10, but it was negative, so it's 10I. And then radical 2, nothing could be done with it, so I just write radical 2. We will be seeing those in our solutions this week.